We have a whole system of preparation for child life, which always is preparation and never actually gets there. In other words, we have a system of schooling which starts with the grades. And we get this little creature into the thing that kind of come on, and we get it always preparing for something that's going to happen. So you go into nursery school as a preparation for kindergarten. But everything is based on the idea, you see, that you will get it tomorrow, and you can enjoy yourself today, so long as tomorrow looks bright. But Confucius once said, a man who understands the Tao in the morning can die contentedly in the evening.
Hello, it's March 2024. This video is inspired by a conversation that I had not too long ago with someone. And we were talking about how everything in the civilization is based on misinformation, disinformation, lies, deception, all these things. And you really have to just basically erase everything that you know or you think that you know and start all over. Because there's so many layers, I've said repeatedly over many years, there's so many layers to, as a descriptive, a common descriptive, to wake up to. And a lot of people, they may wake up to one or several things only to slumber in something else while slumbering in everything else. And trying to filter out all the nonsense that's in this world on any topic is quite challenging. It used to be a lot easier, for example, say 20 years ago on the internet, but now with how everything's being suppressed and whatnot, it's a lot harder and harder. And when you can't even, for example, trust what you already think you know, then where does that leave a lot of people? And this untruths and everything else causes a lot of harm to individuals, people in their lives, for example, friends, family, co-workers, acquaintances, whatnot. And it can impact groups all the way up to countries on the world stage. And when you look at how lives can be destroyed and these types of things, for example, with false accusations, false narratives being built against someone, how it can destroy someone's life. And I look, for example, at my story, at how everything began in late 2012 with the female central to my story, and how by May 4th, 2013, how everything just went sideways for everyone. Not just for myself, but everyone involved. Because a group of people believed a set of lies and everything just perpetuated. And in the end, I'm caught in the middle of everything, trying to figure everything out. And all I know is what I know, which is what I can prove with a plethora of independent evidence. I'm just going to segue, as it comes to mind here, how around just before the May 4th, 2013 event, I was getting the information that I wanted through secretly audio recording the female central to my story. And that was my whole objective during those months. And towards the end, I had mentioned how, and showed even video clips of how she was stashing, for example, money, cash, in the center console of the vehicle that I had at the time.
Talking about, I'm doing pretty good here. Look at this. Get on it. What the hell? Are you shitting me? Want a hug? No. Izzy. Okay, stop with the tears. Oh, now I have to, you know what I have to do now is I have to get one of these Kleenexes. Thank you. Yeah. drive by thinking that you're actually crying.
I actually was about to cry, really cry, but I stopped myself. I planned it all out.
I had mentioned how, and showed even video clips of how she was stashing, for example, money, cash, in the center console of the vehicle that I had at the time, and even personal items I was finding stashed in the most unusual places. And I was trying to figure out what's going on, why, what is this all about? And before I had a chance to do anything with the information that I gathered, for example, to vindicate myself as well as to expose what was happening at this nonprofit organization, well, the May 4th, 2013 event happened, and the two former officers changed everyone's lives, because this whole thing impacted many, many lives. And looking back, or even sometime after, my trying to be set up with some sort of sexual crime, because in today's world, the best way to discredit someone is through sexual crime allegations and so forth. And I recall, for example, when the two former officers, actually it was the first one, Richard Kinnell, when he first testified in November of 2013, he went on this whole rant for the day with all these sexual crimes and everything, and alleging that I was arrested for these things and all this other nonsense. And I wasn't even arrested that evening when, on May 4th, 2013, when they did what they did to me. And he even testified on a redirect that they did what they did to me so I wouldn't do that to anyone else, which is perplexing in itself. But all these sexual crimes, and nothing ever became out of anything. I was never even charged or let alone convicted for anything like that in my entire life. But yet they were really trying to push that to, or whoever was behind it, getting them to do the dirty work, who knows. They were really pushing for that. And this whole part of my story is how people's lives are destroyed through false narratives and so forth. And I even mentioned in 2011, when I was, for example, exposing political corruption back then, in the years prior, how it had devastating consequences for me. And at the time, I wanted to keep my mouth shut, but when this whole thing resurfaced in Calgary, Alberta, then I thought, okay, I'm not keeping my mouth shut. But we see in today's world how everything is just based on lies. People's lives are being destroyed. We see how history is being rewritten, destroying one group's lives and elevating another one falsely and everything else. This is the world that we live in today. Everything, even the most common, simplest little thing that's taken for granted is founded on a lie. And one example that comes to mind is this whole idea with water. What makes water? And the common belief is H2O, hydrogen and oxygen. Now you can extract hydrogen from water, but no one has ever combined hydrogen and oxygen to create water, because the whole thing is a lie. And that's a whole different tangent. So that's something that everyone just takes for granted, thinking, yeah, that's the truth. Hydrogen and oxygen, that's water. No. So something as simple and mundane as that is based on falsehoods. Then things that are topics that are, for example, more complicated would be a lot easier to fool people, especially when people say, well, I don't understand, and they divert the knowledge of that topic to a so-called expert or something. And then we get back into having experts, or so-called experts, say, profiling someone to, say, as a criminal or whatever. Everything is a lie. Everything is staged. Everything. And once you realize that part of the game, well, it could be overwhelming for some people, and some people could be empowering. Empowering in the sense that you can walk with confidence knowing, okay, you know what's what, and you just survive. People who are overwhelmed are the ones that can't let go of as a descriptive delusion. Anyway, just wanted to give you some things to think about as usual. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Hopefully somewhere in there the truth is. Cut. In order to do that, you have to filter in. Cut. And oh man, I've said many times, cut.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people saying to me, oh, when is it going to get easier? When you die.